Hey, movie fans, my first stop today is the trailer for the Netflix movie The Mother with Jennifer Lopez. This looks actually fun, and I do love like a revenge assassin story. And I will admit this with Jennifer Lopez. I don't think she's one of the best actresses in the world, though. She's most of the stuff I've seen her in, she's been fine. Not very good in my opinion. So I can't say I've seen her in really a movie I can say I loved her in. But I think this movie just looks fun, and hopefully it's one of the better Netflix movies because the track record can be definitely more missed than hit. There's been like once in a while they put out a movie that I love or enjoy, but most of the time Netflix movies are pretty crappy in my opinion. So I would say I would recommend people check out the trailer for The Mother on Netflix. Like I said, it looks like a fun assassin revenge story. Hopefully it's an entertaining movie. So I'm excited for that one. Next thing I want to talk about is the new trailer for the Peter Pan movie that's coming on Disney Plus at the end of this month, I believe. I think it looks interesting. It's not one of my most anticipated movies. It's I do like the overall tone of it though, and I like how it's kind of like dark and gritty. So it visually looks just more different to me and more grounded in reality. So that has me interested. The only thing I would say about the trailer is that yeah, it looks kind of like they're just doing the same story of Peter Pan and not really changing much stuff except for the visual. But I don't know, it has me interested enough to check it out. So I thought the trailer was pretty good. Not it's not like one of the it's not one of those things where I'm like really excited about it, but it has me interested in the trailer so far at least. Next thing I want to talk about is the announcement that will be back the Vanessa character and the actor who played Colossus from the Deadpool movies. I love this news because the one thing the Deadpool movies, in my opinion, did better than the X-Men movies is Colossus. Like he felt they made him Western, which to me is an important element of the character Colossus. To me, he has to be Western. And the actor who played this did a great job. And they got the look of Colossus down where it looks like he was pulled straight out of the comics. They got the character down. It felt like the character straight from the comics. That's one thing I definitely give Deadpool movies over the X Men movies. I did a way better job with the Colossus character when it comes to the casting, the look, the Western accents, everything about the character. And I'm glad Vanessa's come back also because I do think, I mean, you can do a movie. I still think you can make a fun movie without her, but she is an important part of what motivates the Deadpool character, in my opinion. And this is why I also prefer the first Deadpool movie over Deadpool 2 because one of the reasons why I love the first Deadpool movie is a love story, and the first Deadpool movie felt more independent, smaller budget. It felt more like an intimate personal story, the first Deadpool movie. I think those two have fantastic chemistry. They're one of my favorite comic book couples in a comic book franchise. And I'm excited to see them back. I know for this, it was already announced they've been the taxi driver guy back and applying old lady. So I am glad we're bringing back some of the people from the Deadpool movies. But yeah, great news. I'm excited to see them come back. Next thing I want to talk about is an announcement that Mia Goth is going to be in the Blade reboot. I'm excited for the Blade reboot. And even though it most likely won't be all rated, we'll see what happens with that. They haven't announced a rating for the movie, so I still think there's a chance it could be all rated, but most likely not. But I'm excited for the reboot because I love the first two original Blade movies. Blade Trinity sucked, and even though I love Wesley Snipes in the role, I think Marcel Lee is a great actor. Like every time I see him, he's fantastic, and he sounds very passionate about the character. So when it comes to Mia Goth being cast, I'm excited by it, which is funny because if she was announced after I watched X and Infinity Pool, which I just did not like those two movies. I know there's a lot of people that love the movie X. It just personally didn't land for me. And when I watched X, I thought she was fine in that. Like she wasn't bad, but I didn't think she was like fantastic like everybody else thinks she was in that movie. Like she was fine. And then when I watched Infinity Pool, she was kind of to me a little bit annoying at times, kind of all over the place for being a full performance in that movie. Like personally, but when I watched Pearl, I was like, oh man, she's fantastic and a great movie. To me, that's what makes me excited about it being in a Blade reboot. So I'm like, if I didn't watch Pearl, I would have been like, okay with the news. Wouldn't have excited me. But watching that movie Pearl, I was like, oh man, she's a fantastic actress. So excited by this news. Next thing I want to talk about, so I'm going to do an S topic today. I want to talk about is with the movie Batman Bane and Borders coming out. The reason why I'm excited for this version of Bruce Wayne, because I know like some people would say, oh, we've seen Bruce Wayne Batman character done a million times by this point. But here's the thing for me. I always say this: if you can bring something different from the character and get a fun, great movie out of it, then that's exciting for me. It's like the reason why I love Matt Reeves' Batman, the Elseworld movie, and why I'm excited for the sequel, and why I love that movie was because the first time in that movie we got to see a detective Batman, a noir detective story, which to me was great because it felt like it brought something different and fresh of the character of Batman. The reason I'm excited for this Batman movie in the new DC universe is because we've never seen a Bruce Wayne who's been a father in the movies. And that to me is exciting because you're taking a guy who's this tortured, clothes off, and not like the most people's person when it comes to Batman. And I think you can make some great drama and just some great like fun with the idea of taking this guy who's not really. You don't look at Bruce Wayne and think he would be maybe the best parent figure. And I think you take that element, you put it with a character like Damian Wayne, who I love as Robin. I think that could make some great drama and a great story because we haven't seen Bruce Wayne as a father in past Batman movies. And here's another time I'm saying about this because I want to see a great Batman and Robin movie. No offense to people, if you enjoy Batman Forever or if you enjoyed Batman and Robin or love those two movies, no offense, but to me, I don't think Robin's ever been done great. Like I think Crystal Dynamite was fine as Robin and Batman Forever. I think he was awful in Batman and Robin, but either way, I don't think those movies were great interpretations of a Batman and Robin movie, and those two working together. So for me, I just want to see a great Batman and Robin movie. You get to explore the side of Bruce as a father, which I think would be really interesting, something we haven't seen. Like we haven't seen that side of Bruce Wayne in a movie before this. That's pretty why, to me, it's exciting to do that. And also, the reason I'm excited for this is because, like I said, Damian Wayne is a big character. And this adds to another element to me is that, okay, he's not just one of the Robins in the comics, it's Bruce Wayne's son. And the fact that he was raised by Tal al Ghul and then trained by Ra's al Ghul, one of Batman's main villains, that's an idea you put in this kid who's trained to be an assassin and killer with a kid like Bruce Wayne who has a moral code not to kill, not to cross that line. I think it's just really could be really compelling and interesting, like him trying to rein this kid in and teach him there's a better way than just killing people. I think it can make a great drama, and I just think to me it's a compelling story to tell. So when people say, we've seen Bruce Wayne a bunch of times in the movies, yes, but we've never seen them explore this version of Bruce Wayne in a movie. So that to me is what makes me excited, to explore him as a father, to explore the idea of him teaching this assassin kid who grew up as an assassin and trained to be an assassin, try to teach him a moral code of not killing. I think it's make a great story. So that's the reason why I'm excited for the new Batman Bane Reborn movie. Till next time, movie fans.